Hello, welcome back. I'm going to still talk about book Paimon, and the title of the book is King Paimon, Lord of the Endless Silence, the Lord of the Abyss, written by Anai's Giulia. I'm the author of the book, and it is published on Amazon, can be bought on Amazon internationally if you're interested, King Paimon. And we did a lot of recordings, or I did a lot of recordings talking about the book and the different aspects that come with Paimon, or different things that has to be in the book. And we did some different exercises as well. And then, there's always a new thematic that can come in, and there's always some type of meditative process that Paimon works with one, to... It's almost like there's some type of understanding needed still always, clarification or some type of understanding about the role, for example, the role of repetition that comes to Paimon. It's quite interesting, the repetition and what it does. And it's almost like repetition brings things closer, or repetition in text now can give a different... more intense feeling when one reads the same text over and over. It's almost like you read the same thing, but the second time you read, or the third one, there's a different feeling to it, especially if there's other text between. There's always a good feeling when a repetition comes in. One can go a little bit deeper. There's a element of repetition always that comes to Paimon, always. Someone was saying in any vision that Paimon gives, there's always a repetition. And the repetition too is the key, so it's connected to the answer as well. To the truth, or the things that are true, This repetition, say yes, it's confirmation, but it's not only that, it's valuable to the exercise itself, that one can understand and go deeper, So the role of repetition, it has a spiritual role as well. It's almost like a message that repeats itself, or a longer text that can repeat itself, or something that, repetition is a big part of it. And connecting to Paimon even more, he is a man of habit. If I was to describe Paimon as a man of habit, he always has a certain rules, or certain keys, or a certain level, or a certain thing that Paimon does. There is nothing random. Even the repetition, he wants to say it is not random in the text. It is not a random repetition. It carries a deeper meaning. Why does Paimon repeat the same thing? And it has to do with lesson, or it's the way he is working, the way he teaches. At the same time, there's always room, Paimon always works on both sides. When you think about music, there's the element of freedom, there's the element of openness, of space, or of gathering something, At the same time, he's always very focused. There's always a repetition through the travel, through the desert, the camel, It's always the camel, repetition on one step after another. The sand, is something that is similar, it's like copied, and it's a lot of it, There's always a lot, the feeling of a lot too as well with Paimon. A lot in a beautiful way. At the same time, sometimes there's less elements around, because that part, it means it's, how to say, it carries a different energy to it, And talking about the book as well, it is a very beautiful book. It's a grimoire. It's a poem. It's a hymn inside the book that goes through as it will go in a story. But the text is written in hymn form. And it's a very beautiful story about King Paimon and all the ancient elements that he carries. And then he meets the girl in the market. There's always like a element of change as well, of the wind. When Paimon comes, when there's wind, there's a symbol of change. The wind is symbol of change. At the same time, Paimon is a very soft type of wind. It's a very fast but soft. There's a element of something immediate, but at the same time, very soft transition, or something that is meant to be. It's also say it's all prepared now. When Paimon arrives, it's all prepared. That's the feeling that one has with Paimon. And to not be mistaken, no? Paimon name carry a lot of it's carry a lot with it. Okay, Paimon is at least for me, represents a lot. There's a lot that Paimon carries, and I have a lot of respect and honor. And there's always a beauty to the things that he chooses, to show or to understand, At the same time, there is, of course, always the element of water, of some type of sounds. And the water is very much connected to the sounds as well. It's almost like the sounds that Paimon finds pleasing, or it's almost like are part of him as well, of his aura, of his dominion, of his power, of his magic. And there are visuals as well, visual things or visions, or some visual things that Paimon can show one, at the same time, it works with memories as well. There's always a part, but it's quite pretty much the same. At the same time, as I said, Paimon is a man of habit, So he has his own way to deliver the messages that he has, but he doesn't to everyone. There's always a selection. There's always a elevation point that one has to be able to connect with Paimon. But that's a beautiful thing. Once you know, you're ready. So there is no doubt in that way when it comes to Paimon. And we did speak in my recordings, that's why I don't want to repeat. If one is interested, can listen to the entire album or of the different recordings that I've talked about Paimon, about the book, about the different elements in depth, or the different exercises that we did with the mirror. And of course, it's always interesting after one does the exercise to look back a little bit and discover what has changed or what new elements have come in. Sometimes comes new elements or new ideas or new stories. There's always a continuation. It's always like a line. It's everything. It is prepared with Paimon. You just have to follow the line. You just have to follow him. You just have to trust that, that journey. And it is finally about the journey. It is finally about travel. In the book, it's about the part of their life where he travels with a girl. He meets her in the market, and then he takes her with him. So I would say the camel of hers is Paimon arrives with the camel ready for her. Almost to say Paimon was searching for the girl. Paimon was looking for her, and then he found her, and then he knew immediately, and then he took her with him in the desert, in the travel. The meaning of the travel through the desert. Why through the desert? It's because it's what Paimon represents. That's how Paimon shows himself mostly to her, At the same time, Paimon has different places. Paimon is almost like able to create different things in different places. He is a creator, He is abundant.